The warning. Soft drum beats fade in, setting an ominous tone. A crow caws in the distance, and the sound of rustling leaves carries the whisper of an unseen presence. Before she took my husband, before I stole her son's heart, there was another warning. A prophecy spoken by the old woman by the river, the same woman I would one day beg for power. The sound of water lapping against the shore, the distant hoot of an owl. 2 women, one fate. A bond shattered, a revenge kindled. But beware, child, for fate does not take sides, it only waits to collect its due. The rivalry. We had never been friends, she and I. Even before she took him from me, there was always a fire between us, always a silent war fought with smiles that never reached our eyes. Villagers whispering in the background. The village knew. They always knew. The glances, the murmurs, everyone saw the way he looked at her, how he drifted from my grasp, slipping like water through fingers that once held him tight. The sound of footsteps fading away, a deep sigh of resentment. The betrayal. I found them by the river, their laughter twining like vines, wrapping around my throat and choking me with rage. She stood too close. He smiled too easily. When he returned home that night, he did not meet my eyes. When I spoke, he answered in half-hearted whispers. And when I touched him, he flinched. Thunder rumbles, the low growl of an approaching storm. I knew then, she had taken him from me. Not by force, but by something more insidious. A love that had grown in the cracks of my neglect, in the silences where I should have spoken, in the distance I had ignored. The pact. I should have walked away. Should have let him go. But the old woman had already seen me coming. The sound of bones rattling, the flicker of firelight. You come again, she murmured, stirring something thick and dark in a clay pot. This time, with a heavier heart. I nodded. I want him back. She looked at me, her eyes hollow as the void itself. You will not get him back the way you knew him. You will make him yours, but you will make him something else. The cost. The boy changed before my eyes. Slowly, subtly, but enough that she noticed. He drifted from her the way his father had once drifted from me. And as she called his name, as he turned away, I felt the victory like fire in my veins. The sound of distant weeping, a woman's voice pleading into the night. But the old woman's warning echoed still in the back of my mind. Fate does not take sides. The omen. Then, one night, I awoke to silence. No wind. No crickets. Just an unnatural stillness that pressed against my skin like unseen hands. The door creaks. Footsteps shuffle across the floor. And then, a whisper, low and broken. Mother. I turned, and there he stood. The boy I had taken. The boy I had changed. His eyes were not his own anymore. The revelation. Heavy breathing. The flickering of a dying candle. I whispered his name. But he did not answer. The boy I had bound to me was there, yet he was not. His gaze held an emptiness that chilled my bones. Then, slowly, he smiled. Sound of whispering voices in the darkness, unintelligible yet eerie. She had not taken my husband. I had lost him. And in my greed, in my need for vengeance, I had taken something far worse. Something unnatural. Something that did not belong to this world. The descent. The boy no longer ate. No longer slept. He would sit by the window, watching, waiting. I did not know for what. But when the shadows stretched too long in the evening, I saw them shift, move in ways they should not. The rustling of leaves, but there is no wind. She came to me one last time. Her face gaunt, her eyes wild. Return him, she whispered. Before it is too late. But I had long since crossed the threshold of no return. The night of no end. That night, the village woke to screams. Sound of frantic footsteps, doors slamming, torches igniting. The boy was gone. Vanished into the forest where the old woman's voice sang in the wind. The trees whispered his name, and though I searched, I never found him. The price, I lost him. I lost everything. The distant hoot of an owl, but it sounds like laughter. The villagers say I went mad, that I wandered the riverbank, whispering his name into the dark waters, waiting for the old woman's voice to answer. But I know the truth. He is still out there. And one day, he will come back. This is only the beginning. The darkness still lingers. If you want more, let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe because fate is not yet done collecting its due. See you in the next video.